Bitcoin, crypto, morning tea, hey. Good morning, everybody. My name's Matty B. That is Scaramouches. This is your morning DDay. A brief glimpse into the crypto markets, where the sun's shining, where the wind's blowing. Oh, the humble opinion of this piano. The Zamboni ringing the data. The FOMO index has ripped up to 72 from yesterday's 47. Bitcoin dominance 63.4%. 24-hour volumes 136 billion. The overall market cap 2.95 trillion. Give or take 100 million. Well, if I didn't know any better, I'd say we seem to be in the throes of a revived bull market. Yesterday, after consolidating in and around our channel of eternal monotony's resistance of 88.8-ish, price action wasn't done pumping, and so she continued to rip. Taking a brief moment to snap some pics at our old channel of eternal monotony support, which was acting as resistance, closed a couple candles in her honor, then stole that honor and continued up, picking out at 94.5 and has simmered down to a time of production 94.2, clocking in a 12% upside since Sunday night, placing us above all three moving averages and eyeing up the next two bullish targets, which are first this channel's resistance up at 95.6-ish. After that, we'll be eyeing up 96.6-ish, and if she's so done tootin' and still has some bullish papa in her, we could see 98.5-ish. Now some possible retracements on a Wednesday cool-off. Could be, but doesn't have to happen. First down at the 23.6% fib at 92.7, followed by the 38.2% fib, which is also this channel's resistance, down at 91.6-ish, which is that magic level we wanted to blow past yesterday, which we didn't. That's why we won't talk about it anymore or give any attention to, because, well, we don't want to jinx it. Now over on the ding dong, you can see we've finally got up and over our two bull market metrics, which were first the 200 moving average, and then of course the 111-day moving average, which is the absolute barometer of bullish prowess and an official signal that we are once again in what some legacy analysts would call a bull market. Now, if we were to see continued bullish action today or throughout the rest of the week, I'd be keeping my papers on this channel of eternal monotony's resistance to get tested way up at 98.5-ish, which is corroboratatui with the 4-hour bullish targets. Now some quick breather retracements, which would be absolutely normal to see as nothing goes straight up without some pit stops, would be the 23.6% fib, which is also the 111-day moving average at 91.6. Then the 23.6% fib at 90.4-ish. And if she falls asleep at the wheel and drives off the cliff, we could retest this channel support, which is also the 50% fib way down at 89.2-ish. Why you gots to pianomattyb? Why you gots to? And now I'm not saying it will, I'm just saying it could, and if it does, look for those levels to provide some, if not all. SUPPORT, which spells support.
Historical Norm is the executive producer of those segments. He is still traveling. Lasers, was that who it was? Lasers, yeah. He's still traveling. He phones in every now and then, but he's like, he doesn't phone in when there's nothing to talk about. You know, he usually phones in when there's big moves. But seeing as though, you know, I would say that yesterday was a pretty big move, but I remember most of the day I was getting texts from people because of that 91.6 for everyone. You know, look at this 91.6, and it got there. Like, let's take a look at her. 1.6 right here. We started consolidating for, you know, I'd say 6 hours right here, right at that. It was DDay. Nobody wanted to sit there for too long, and I was just hoping, because people were texting me, hey, it's 91.6, you had 91.6. Like, yeah, but we got to get over 91.6, and we sat there for about 4 hours, I think, and then we blew past her, which is nice. Now, under normal market conditions, I would expect for price to pull back. I mean, it was a 12% gain since Sunday. I mean, 12%. It's something. It's a big gain, right? Even though it doesn't feel like it, the biggest gain. I think until we're over 100K, everyone will be like, kind of, yeah, it's great and all, but you know, it's not 100K. That being said, the alternative is a lot worse. So let's just say here, we got this massive, beautiful candle from 91.6, the price to blow through. Peeking out here, and this makes sense, because if we go back, I don't think I did this. I think I did this on a live stream. This price probability, which we hit to the T, was based on this inverse head and shoulder. So that's where this take the pull, you slide it all to the breakout point, and then we're all at where we are now. So the TA is working out in a bull market. Usually TAs do. So that being said, if we are in said bull market, we could maybe carve out this little bear flag. There's the pole of the flag. You can see the implied flag. It's small, it's slight, it's almost not worth mentioning, but we're going to, because we're talking about bullish probabilities here in this bull run. All things considered, all the micro or macroeconomic, geopolitical tailwinds up our Adirondacks. Let's see where this goes. You take the pole, you slide it all to the breakout point, and then we're all at. Where is this? 100K. Wouldn't you know? And that would make sense. That would make sense because it's such a psychological little so-and-so. Well, do we have much history at 100K? Yeah, we do. This is all one. Oh, that's a noisy little so-and-so when I look at it this way. But this is, you can see all this history at 100K, and it makes sense because we are, it's a psychological number, 100K. And it would be right back. So I've extended all these channels because if there's one thing that the market has, it's memory. It likes to remember where it's been. It gets tied up on those psychological levels because that's where people who have bought will sell, and that's where people who have sold will buy again. So we can see this channel of ascension, which the probabilities of a channel of ascension is that we break down, and we did. But it doesn't mean that that structure doesn't stay. So with that being said, before we hit that 100K, 99.3 would probably be our first little. There'd be more headwinds. I would say, we went over this on the video though, so I won't reiterate this. Yeah, go back and watch it if they want to be so bold. So yeah, the market will find the memory it wants to do, and it'll adhere to that. It will respect it. But the interesting thing about that is that, you know, these probabilities have been playing out pretty well. You know, and I would hesitate to argue that we are no longer in a what one might call a technically driven market. I feel like we are in a complete fundamentally driven market at this point. And it just so happens that during moments or weeks or months of inaction, the market will generally form these ups and downs, which look like an inverse head and shoulders, which looks like a bear flag in retrospect. But really, I think we are just responding to fundamentals. That being said, one of these fundamentals was that, it's all over on the ding dong. So the channel of, if we go back, you know, this channel of dissension, which ended here, right? Way back here from our top. Channel of dissension, you know, they break to the upside. Now we did break to the upside slightly. However, we returned. So we kept that market muscle memory intact, and I continued to draw it down because we did find support at it, and then we broke through it and we fought our way back up, and then we continued into this channel of ascension, which generally breaks down, unfortunately, and that's what we did. And then we had this inverse head and shoulders, which breaks bullish, and we did. And then we had a bull flag that broke bullish, and we did. So let's do this just for fun. I mean, you got to spice up your life. Like, what do you have? We're going to move this target, this little green heart that we put. This green heart was way over here, which was April 25th. So let's put this, let's move the green heart. It's a big day here, folks. We're moving the green heart here up to this bull flag probability of 100K. Might as well. You gotta dream big, right? This 100K. That's when the market's going to be moving. And I kind of feel like it's almost, the market's like the Bitcoin bull run is almost like a teenager who's sleeping in a lot. You know, the mom and dad come and go, hey, the market's 109K. And the teenager's like, great, back to bed. And then it went back to bed all the way to 76. And I think now when the parents come in again and open up the door and say, hey, it's 100K now, get your ass out of bed now. I think retail maybe, oh shit, 100K. Yeah, let's go. Let's effing go. I think that's what might happen. Wick's wife, there were some people at the piano bar saying that it was Giga Chad's birthday, or was it your birthday? I wasn't sure. On the weekend. Was that, I mean, I don't know. I'm seeing a million things. I'm looking at the audience. I'm looking at the comments. I'm looking at the super chats. I'm looking at Kyle. I'm looking at the keys. I thought I saw that. Let me know if that was, that actually happened on the weekend and I missed it. Giga Chad's birthday was Saturday. Mine was last week. What's going on? Wick's wife. I think you were on the stream last week. Nobody said anything. And I don't think Giga Chad was on the stream on Saturday. Well, next time you guys show up, we'll have to do a retroactive dual twerk off. And hopefully you guys can bring out your respective phones and videotape each other doing the birthday twerk to Kyle and I playing low, 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 low. Crypto Princess, my birthday's on Friday. Well, Crypto Princess, tune in on Friday to the piano bar stream around 11 o'clock my time, which is CMT. And we will do a birthday twerk off for you as well. And hopefully you can videotape that. You can send it to me. I don't know how you can send it to me, either via Twitter or via Instagram, something like that. A lot of twerk off. Delta Chai. See what the twerk off is. Delta Chai is at the live piano bar at 11 o'clock. We try to embarrass the people and we bring them up, and then we start doing. I got them apple bottom jeans, the boots with the fur, Should have got low, low, low. And right about now, they start getting into it and they start dancing, right? And then we get to see everyone twerk. The best twerker, of course, is Kyle Mack himself. So when we have a bunch of potted plant, poopy pants people in the crowd that don't want to have fun, which we get a lot for some reason in St. James, Kyle will do the twerking. Andre P., any chance of you doing a little piano tour of the States Bitcoin conference? No. The tough part about the States right now is that you can't get paid, so to speak, as a Canadian. It's very dicey. You got to get it. I mean, you can, but it would have to be like a long tour to go through all the BS paperwork. But who knows? Maybe Canada will be the States by then. But as it stands now, no, I'll just be playing at the Bitcoin conference Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. In the day, throughout the day, 3 hours. It's I'm not sure how accessible it is to people, but I'll be around. I'll be around there. And please, if you are there, come and try to say hi. I know Carl will be there. I know Misko will be there. If anyone else will be there, maybe we can get together and have a steak somewhere. Although, do we really want to go? Crypto Princess, she'll be in Vegas too. Okay, well, make sure you contact me when you're there. XRP, there we go. We got a five-some now. We got a crowded little golf cart. I was thinking, because I only eat steak, it's like, God damn it, this is going to cost me a lot of money. Because I heard steaks, entry level, $75 US. I'm like, listen, I like eating steaks and I like this carnivore diet, but I don't want to really go in 500 US for 3 days type thing. So I don't know what the hell we're going to do. I heard the Wicks, the Giga Chad Wicks and Wick's wife weren't attending this Las Vegas conference. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. No one said there wasn't the price up here. And we need the price up here so we can come back later. Yeah, $75. I'm sure that's one steak, Bruce. $75. Because I've been asking around people that have just came back there. And a friend of mine has a luggage store, was there at a trade show. And he told me, it's like, God damn it. We went to Starbucks, had 2 coffees. It was $22 US. And it's, I mean, for that reason, I'm stealing the coffee from the maids when they're not looking. Yoink, 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 and then I'll get the bill. I was like, oh, you stole 4 things of coffee. That will be $40 US. Anyway, no, we're not going to do that. But yeah, so we'll have to find something to eat there. I'm sure there's something that's not as expensive as a $75 steak. So you got to imagine $75 steak is $100 Canadian. And guess what? There's a bunch of steakhouses. Not a bunch. Let's say 3 in this city that have the $100 steak. Guess who's never been there and never will and would never buy a $100 steak from a restaurant? First off, for a couple of reasons. I do believe there's a scam in restaurants. The outrageous retail of it. To me, it's always been a failed business because it relies on people tipping their workers, right? And I get tips. I understand tipping. But it's like they wouldn't function if they had to pay the servers, an actual living wage without the customers re-upping the whatever it is, the 10 to 30% that people tip. And so to me, there's a little bit of scam, and no one can make a better steak than I can, really. Even these high price steaks things. I mean, you just give me a cast iron pan and a big juicy ribeye, and I'll be okay. I'll do fine. Over on the Ding Dong, so we're regaining 94K, which is good. Now in the production video, I just put where under normal market conditions we could see the price retrace to, all of which would be incredibly normal. Like I do expect. I feel like the market itself has been suppressed emotionally and financially. So we have a bunch of, bigger money sitting on their hands as they wait for, the macro geopolitical aspect of the market to cool out. And they're dying to ape in. They really are. So as I feel like once the road is clear and there's no more obstacles, we're going to see what some legacy analysts call a huge bull run. Now it'll be in everything. It'll be in the tech stocks. It'll be in the tech stocks. And to a certain degree, there might be, the saying where the whales will bring the market back to them. This could be the last maneuver where these massive whales bring the market back. They're like, they don't say to themselves, oh, Bitcoin's 109. Yeah, we should really get it. Yeah, we should. We should buy it right now. They're like, no, let's bring the market back to, at least in the 70s. I'm not going to buy it at 109K. We can buy it in the 70s. We'll just do this. What is this? I don't know. I'm just a piano player in Canada. I don't understand num-nums. But somehow they bring the market back and then they get in. And when everyone's scared and when everyone is fearful and down and depressed, that's when they and they get in for probably what may be the craziest little run in the stock market and Bitcoin. Maybe ever. The next financial system, I believe, will be predicated and built upon this next run, right? Most people will miss it because that's what happens to most people. They'll watch it and they'll poo-poo it the whole time. Oh, it's going to crash. This is ridiculous. This is overbought. This is never going to last. And then it will consolidate. Yeah, there'll be a little bit of a crash, but then there'll be a consolidation at a much higher price point than anyone could ever fathom. And that will be most people's entry into the next phase of the financial system. They will miss this big bump. But hey, we tried. We all did our share to try to educate as many people as to what's about to happen. Now, you can't save them all, and you're not going to save them all. But eventually, they will probably learn. Unfortunately, for them, it might be slightly too late. Terry Crow, I had a $35 prime rib with baked potatoes last weekend in McCook, Nebraska. It was sous vide, medium rare, tender perfection. But that's the most I've ever paid for prime rib dinner. That sounds, somewhat cheap. $35 prime rib. I would say I'd be hard pressed to find a $35 prime rib in Winnipeg. However, you'd be hard pressed to find me at any restaurant anyway. The whole concept is, I feel like a sucker is what I'm trying to say. It's like when I look back at my drinking culture that I was in, I was like, man, I was a real sucker. I was fed a bunch of bullshit. I literally drank it up and thought that it was cool. And man, nothing could have been farther from cool when you're literally wasting your time and money. That's how I feel. As I get farther away from those days, so in June 1st, it'll be 6 years of zero booze, which is crazy. I get more a little angry at myself. It's like, God, why is I so stupid for so long? And the answer is everybody kind of learns their lesson at their given time in life. Maybe I had to do certain things to get there, or experience different things to fully understand it. And maybe had I not fully understood it, then I wouldn't appreciate it now. But, that's just how life works, unfortunately. Things that are hard for a reason, or else everyone would do it. Now, one of the reasons I was also thinking this morning when I was sitting there, looking out the window of despair with my cat, Mingo, I was like, this is booze. a weird tool of the elite to, water down people's productivity, people's ability to escape, so to speak? Is that a thing? Could the world be so nefarious that there was a concerted effort by groups of people, one might call it a conspiracy, if you will, to keep people down via their own weakness in human character, so to speak? I mean, it got me. It suppressed my life for, I don't know, probably 20 years. And the whole time I didn't really feel it was suppressing me. So it was like brilliant. Not only was it, slowly killing me and draining my money and not making me think because we're going to have some beers or whatever. I was doing it on my own free will and I didn't think it was bad. It's such a beautiful, unbelievable, orchestrated move to keep the malaise and that little gray kind of blurriness to life. Now, is sobriety the type of thing that most people can handle? I would say no. Because the edges are sharp. I mean, you see things for how they actually are, how they actually exist, because you don't second guess it anymore. And you don't have as many rationalizations, so to speak, about why things didn't go a certain way or did go a certain way. And there's no more excuses. That was my favorite part about this journey into sobriety, is that there's no more excuses, right? So no matter, and I see it every day. I like when people are playing squash and they're not playing well, back to the squash club, they'll come off and they'll say something like, yeah, God, I'm a little hungover. Well, that's an excuse, right? And I get it. It's a valid excuse. I remember being sick as a dog from drinking, thinking, did I willfully do this to myself? Did I, it's not so bad that you get the flu every now and then or a cold, but you willfully kind of make yourself sick. And so not having that excuse, it's quite liberating to never have an excuse as to why something didn't happen the way you wanted to. Because it's just that, you got to face the facts. It's just something wasn't good enough, or something you didn't try hard enough, or you didn't put enough time. It's very simple why certain things don't work. And when you're under the influence, you have a million excuses why. And then that just keeps going. The train keeps running on this. You're almost lucky if things work, because if they don't work, you can always say, well, I had some drinks last night, so I woke up late, and that's what happened, whatever. But anyway, my huge dream, and I see it everywhere I go now, is people just drink way less. Now, this is why it's such a great green flag for me when I hear this, especially from younger people, is that they're in the extreme clarity of sobriety. Not much gets past you, and you start desiring more information. You start desiring the truth, and you start negating science fiction and fiction in general. You don't want to be entertained, so to speak. You want information. You want hardcore information. You want to constantly ascend. Your brain needs more information, not just, intellectual palliative care that comes in the form of diversions and whatnot. You don't need that anymore. You don't want that one. And what this all leads to is Bitcoin, of course. Everything reverts back to Bitcoin, because once you understand the clarity of what's going on in this world with money, like, it's just think about how weird this is. Most people don't even think about money for 1 second, and not the way we think about money. I mean, just think about it when you were like 15, or, money was this thing that was as real as the sun, or trees. It was like, it was always here, right? Money is always here. Why would I ever question it? Then when you start questioning it, you have to reverse engineer your whole life. Okay, well, what was I doing to earn this? How much time did I put into this to earn this? And what does this really mean? Is it and how come it's not worth as much? And then that's what I mean. So this lack of drinking, increased clarity, people will get to Bitcoin faster. And I think that's when the world really changes for the better.
Make sure you like and subscribe and share